The cameras never caught the look in her eyes. The room was silent, not from ceremony but from discomfort. Princess Anne, stoic as ever, sat in polished uniform as another scandal once again circled the House of York. And this time, it wasn't just about Prince Andrew. It was Sarah, the debts, the questions, the silence. And then a glance, quiet but cutting. A moment that some say revealed more than the palace ever intended. Before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. In the careful choreography of royal life, silence is a weapon. And for Princess Anne, that silence has often been her clearest message. She doesn't need front-page interviews or Netflix specials. She speaks through duty, decorum, and, sometimes, through what she chooses not to say. But insiders suggest that behind palace doors, the Princess Royal's patience may have been wearing thin. For years, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has lived on the edge of royal approval. Following her divorce from Prince Andrew in 1996, she maintained a surprisingly close relationship with her former husband, even continuing to reside with him at Royal Lodge. That arrangement, unusual by royal standards, has long puzzled commentators and frustrated some within the monarchy's inner circle. Princess Anne, known for her rigorous sense of duty and expectation of discretion, is said to have found the arrangement curious at best, frustrating at worst. Not because of scandal alone, but because of what it symbolized, a lingering entanglement that in the eyes of some kept the monarchy tethered to a past it was trying to leave behind. And then came the headlines. Reports of financial troubles, whispers of unpaid debts, a Belgravia townhouse sold quietly, allegedly to cover costs at Royal Lodge, charities stepping away, partnerships withdrawn. One story, then another, adding fuel to a growing narrative that Sarah Ferguson, once hailed as a breath of fresh air in the royal fold, had become a liability. This wasn't new territory for Fergie. Her financial woes have haunted her public image for decades, from ill-fated business ventures to the infamous 2010 cash for access sting. But what made this moment different was the timing and the silence. The palace said nothing, but Princess Anne, royal observers noted, said even less. It's important to state plainly, there is no confirmed record of Princess Anne directly commenting on Sarah Ferguson's finances. No interviews, no statements, no leaks from royal aides. But speculation is powerful currency in royal reporting, and among those close to the court, a picture began to emerge. One source suggested that Anne viewed Ferguson's repeated appearances in the media and the surrounding controversies as a distraction from the work the monarchy needs to do. Another observer, a longtime royal commentator, noted that Anne had always held a hard line when it comes to standards and believed you don't get second chances when you represent the crown. This isn't to say Anne harbors personal animosity towards Ferguson. On the contrary, they've shared moments of warmth in the past. But what is clear, say insiders, is that Anne's approach to public service, one defined by restraint, reliability, and quiet excellence, is far removed from the image Ferguson has cultivated. To understand Anne's rumored reaction to this latest chapter in Ferguson's life, one must look at the larger context. The House of York is in retreat. Prince Andrew has been formally removed from public life. His military affiliations and royal patronages returned to the Queen in 2022. The Duke of York title, once a symbol of national service, has now become a footnote in a scandal-laden legacy. Sarah Ferguson, for her part, no longer holds the title Her Royal Highness, and while she continues to maintain a public profile, her presence at major royal events has diminished significantly. She was not present at the king's coronation. She has not joined the family on the Buckingham Palace balcony in recent years. Her role, if it can be called that, is now peripheral at best. And so, for Anne, a woman who has devoted her entire adult life to service without fanfare, the spectacle of the Yorks' ongoing entanglements may well be viewed with quiet dismay. Royal watchers recall a moment, not captured on camera, but described by several insiders at a small family gathering earlier this year. Ferguson, having recently sold her London townhouse, reportedly appeared subdued. Princess Anne, observers claim, acknowledged her with a nod, but little more. No embrace, no extended conversation. Some interpreted the gesture as neutrality. Others saw a message. This is, of course, speculation, but in the world of monarchy, optics are everything. And the optics here suggest distance. When asked about the York family in recent weeks, the palace has remained characteristically silent, but Anne's public schedule has not. In the wake of Andrew's retreat and Sarah's fading prominence, Princess Anne has stepped forward with renewed presence, opening hospitals, visiting regiments, honoring service members, representing the crown abroad. She does so without fuss, without headlines, without controversy. And that, say commentators, is the point. She doesn't need to speak. Her actions make clear what kind of monarchy she believes in and who she believes is fit to represent it. This silent stance has only become more noticeable in recent months. As stories about the Yorks' financial troubles have grown, Anne's visibility has increased, a sharp contrast, perhaps even a deliberate one. In January, when reports surfaced about Ferguson's growing debt and the possible need for more sales to fund Royal Lodge upkeep, Princess Anne was photographed visiting a military rehabilitation center. The coverage? Minimal. The impact? Substantial. "She just gets on with it," said a former palace aide. "No drama, no distractions. That's how she's always operated." And it's that approach that sources suggest makes her a quiet force within the royal family. There's a widely held belief among palace watchers that Princess Anne has become a key stabilizer in this transitional period for the monarchy. As King Charles carves out his vision for a streamlined, duty-driven royal family, Anne's steady hand is increasingly seen as a model for the future. Which makes the current contrast with Sarah Ferguson and the broader York image all the more stark. One could argue that Anne's silence is not personal, but institutional, that her restraint is about preserving the crown, not punishing an individual. But in either case, the message is the same. There is a right way to serve, and there is everything else. As for Sarah Ferguson, she continues to appear at literary events, fundraisers, and the occasional talk show. Her recent health issues have elicited public sympathy, and rightly so. But her place in the royal firmament seems more distant than ever. And Anne? She remains. The workhorse, the anchor. Observers speculate that the Queen herself once said Anne would always be the monarchy's secret weapon. If that's true, then her silence now may be the sharpest expression of that strength. No public condemnation, no headline-making feud, just presence, duty, discipline. In a family defined by spectacle and scandal in equal measure, Anne represents something different, something unshakable, something deliberate. And that's why, even when she says nothing, especially when she says nothing, people pay attention. In the end, we may never know exactly what Princess Anne thinks about Sarah Ferguson's financial troubles, but we can observe the distance, the posture, the choices. And sometimes, in the monarchy, those quiet gestures say more than 1,000 words. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden world of the crown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us here on Crownverse, where royal history lives on.